Mojang are back at it again. Just as they did during the Caves and Cliffs update release window, they are removing hugely anticipated features from the game up until further notice. In this video we are going to be talking about the latest example of this, being the goat horn. This video is going to be split up into three sections: the good, the bad and the feedback. So with that being said, drop the video a like to show your respects to the goat horn, and let's dive right into it. So everyone, I just want to start out by telling you about this feature which was removed by Mojang yet again. As I did in one of my previous videos, I would like to give a quick thank you and shout out to Echo Soldier over on Twitter for tweeting this out and bringing it to my attention. The tweet actually did read, "Copper horn was also removed," below showing this screenshot from the changelog. I'm just going to read it out real quick. It says, "Removed copper horn. Although community feedback was mostly positive, the copper horn was a fun experiment that didn't quite live up to our design goals, so we decided to remove it. We understand people might be sad, but to be able to try out new and interesting things, we need to be able to remove experimental features sometimes. This leaves space for even better features in the future." So there we go, that's Mojang's response to this. So I want to start off with the good of this change, move on to the bad, and then of course the feedback. Just in case you do not know though, the goat horn was a feature that would obviously, as the name suggests, drop from a goat when it was actually defeated by the player. This could then be further crafted up to a copper goat horn, which would then make interesting sounds and was basically an instrument in Minecraft. Although useless, after looking back on it, I will actually miss this feature because it seemed like quite a fun thing. It reminds me of something you would see in ItzJhief, just a fun item to pull out while you're bored, although not useful at all in the slightest. It's just something fun, and I can imagine people running around in a server or in a Minecraft world with the copper goat horn, just having fun and creating a fun atmosphere to be in, just like in ItzJhief when people run around with these crazy instruments. Now, it has been removed. We do not know if there's any possibility Mojang will bring this back. It seems like at the moment there is not at all. But yeah, there we go. Mojang have removed the goat horn and the copper goat horn, and there it seems like it's gone for good. As Mojang did state in the changelog, it will allow them room to add new features, and I saw quite a few angry responses to this, but I would assume that Mojang have done this so they can replace it for something more useful. The feedback was not what Mojang expected, and that's quite understandable. A lot of players nowadays do like items to have their own unique actual uses, and I definitely understand that, although I think it'd be cool to have just some fun things in the game. I'm also going to talk about that later on in the video, so be sure you stick around for the feedback section. But Mojang's response to this officially is that they did this to make way for some actual useful gameplay mechanics to be introduced. This does not confirm that the goat horn will be returning, or at least in the wild update, but it does imply that Mojang have got something up their sleeve. Now, I do want to move on to the bad side of this feature being removed, and there's quite a few. This goes back to the Caves and Cliffs update. We saw Mojang doing this with numerous features, the main one being Skulk. Mojang did introduce this, fully introduced it to the game as part of the snapshots, just like they did with the goat horn, and they did go on to remove it, where then it was pushed back basically an entire year into the wild update. This could potentially mean that we're going to be getting an archaeology system with the goat horn, where it's going to be delayed indefinitely, or at least until 1.20. At the moment we do not know if the gold horn will ever return and if we will ever see it again, at least in the near future. I would hope that Mojang would introduce this as a part of the Wild update, but at the moment it does not seem like that's going to be the case, and that's the one bad thing about this. It seems like Mojang are quite indecisive with what they're currently doing and some of the features they're trying to implement. In previous updates we would see Mojang come out with a clear goal: these are the features we're adding, we want to add them for this reason, there you go, enjoy them. But more recently it seems like Mojang are just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, and it seems like they want to introduce these features but do not really have much of a purpose for them. It's a bit like Skulk in the first place, the Warden, the Deep Dark. They were all cool but they didn't really have a purpose. It's good that Mojang have finally begun to figure out what they're actually doing with these after about a year, but it does seem to me that Mojang do not have a clear goal with these updates, or at least have a set goal, but the community is having a huge impact on these features and it's not going the way Mojang planned. It just seems like they're not coming out with a clear goal and they're just throwing out these features thinking they would be cool but do not really have anything planned for them. I don't know, it's cool that Mojang did introduce some of this, but it's also sad that they're now removing it. I think if they put it out there in the first place they should be willing to stick through it and persevere and actually introduce a useful purpose for this, but it seems that Mojang does not want to do that right now. It may have been too much work for them to mess around with this gold horn when it's just meant to be something fun on the side. I would rather have something than nothing though. Like, I would rather have some useless features in the game rather than nothing at all. As I said, I can definitely see the good side of the gold horn and the copper gold horn. I could definitely see some unique users being added for this, but at the same time I understand why Mojang went through with this. It does seem that Mojang did this so they can go back to the drawing board with the gold horn and actually implement some useful changes. Now we're on to the feedback section where I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions about this. I've been saying this since day one, ever since I found out that the gold horn would be an item in game. This would be the perfect way to summon a raid. This is a huge Minecraft gameplay mechanic which is hugely unappreciated. Basically, I'm sure you all know, a raid is where you get illagers, they attack a village, bring in ravagers, all of this crazy stuff. Really fun, it's a cool in-game event. Reminds me of something from Terraria. It's extremely fun, but at the moment the only way to get it is kind of by chance. You have to see a patrol going by and then defeat the illager with the banner to get the bad omen effect. I think it would be really cool if you could actually get the gold horn, and it literally looks like a horn that they would use to begin the raid, and you can even hear the sound effect. I just think it would be really cool if this was just used to summon a raid and that is it. I just think it'd be really cool if it was used to summon a raid and that is it. Maybe you could upgrade the gold horn with different ores and gems. Maybe the lowest, most basic one could just be a normal gold horn and the highest could be a diamond gold horn, and because of the different gems put on it and the different shape of the horn, it would make a different sound to then summon a different raid. Something like that would be definitely really cool and really fun. If you had a diamond horn and summoned the highest tier raid, you would actually get a lot better loot and buffs at the end of the raid. Something like that would be really cool. We do not have enough in-game events like this in Minecraft, something I love about Terraria which Minecraft does not have, so I think it'd be really cool if Mojang did this. Of course that would be a lot of hard work for Mojang, it would be quite difficult, but it would definitely add a very cool use to the gold horn. So let me know your thoughts about this down below in the comments, everyone. Are you sad about the gold horn's removal? Are you happy? Let me know your thoughts down below. But it's been me, ItzJhief. Have an amazing day and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.